Temperature levels are climbing, Pathfinder. Pathfinder, there is still a risk of the scavengers damaging remnant cores. I suggest using your Omni tool to disable the cores. Environment check. Temperatures are within acceptable parameters. Life support is stable. Environment check. Temperatures are within acceptable parameters. Life support is back online.
There, that's it.
Pathfinder, I am picking up unusual readings at the final site. Energy levels are higher than normal.
think that's it.
That many siblings common to you guys?
We have large families. Strength in numbers.
Yeah, Krogan used to run that show. Careful.
Pathfinder, someone is attempting to access your comm unit. Should I patch it
Avoid
through?
the sinkholes!
Go ahead.
Hello, you're a Pathfinder, right? I recognize your receiver ID. I need help. I'm in the sinkhole. It's the one with... I'm sure you'll figure it out.
The scavengers set up camp out here. How do they survive the heat?
We're going to be stuck down here forever. And we...
Oh, good. You heard me. I was starting to think I'd have to walk back to that rundown shack they call a landing zone.
What are you doing out here?
I'm a scientist from the Nexus. I've been surveying Eladin's geography for several weeks now. And now I'm stranded on this hellhole.
Tell me what I can do to help you.
Glad you asked. A few days ago, my shuttle overheated and died. Then I ran out of water. After 2 days without a drop, I got desperate. Ended up trading a part from my ship to some scavengers. Once the delirium subsided, I realized my mistake. Turns out I sold them my thruster, which you need to fly.
The Tempest can get you back to the Nexus in no time.
And leave my ship here to be picked apart. If I leave, that shuttle needs to come with me. I figure since you're a Pathfinder, maybe you can talk to the scavengers. Get that part back.
I'll have that thruster for you in no time.
Helpful and efficient. I like that. I'll give you the nav point for the camp. Be ready. They're a prickly bunch.
Are you studying the sinkholes here?
I'm trying to figure out what causes them.
Any luck?
My scans show a high concentration of calcium carbonate deep below us, high enough to create pockets of brittle rock. These pockets break down and collapse, and it causes a chain reaction all the way to the surface. Incidentally, that would also account for all this sand.
Have you learned anything useful about Eladin?
That depends on what you consider useful.
Try me.
Well, I assume you know Eladin receives constant sunlight. There is no nighttime. But I've found evidence of a rare temperature dip, which means the planet experiences an occasional eclipse. Can you imagine? Constant blazing sun for years, then a week of night. It must be jarring.
Good luck out here.
This one died before we arrived.
Pathfinder, you may wish to scan the body for information. Pathfinder, this outlaw died from a highly infectious disease.
We can't let this spread to our people. Can we find the source?
Possibly, if I receive more data.
Pretty harsh learning that shit on Vold. Bright side, no children. Every cat an enemy.
An enemy who used to be family.
Right, we'll call it a wash.
Pathfinder, this area can be mined for resources. You can extract minerals via your mining interface.
Okay, now just... Uh-oh.
Outlaw spotted. Incoming. Took one out.
Targets eliminated.
Life support levels are critically low. The ambient temperature is normal. Life support restored. Heat levels increasing.
Eyes on them.
The ambient temperature is normal. Life support is stable.
did it. The cores are safe.
You dodged a big one, Ryder. Thank you.
Enemy is down!
Environment check. Temperatures are within acceptable parameters. Life support is stable. Pathfinder, this area can be mined for resources. You can extract minerals via your mining interface.
Where'd you learn to fight, Jarl? What's your training?
From my father, and older brothers, and sisters, and cousins, my mother's. The Resistance isn't an army. It's more than that.
What was your rite of passage?
I fell in love when I was a young man. Very young. We met on a farm on Aya. She was brilliant, and her eyes were electric. For years, I suffered with a broken heart.
Not what I was expecting.
I understand completely.
Environmental temperatures are within acceptable limits. I detect above normal temperatures. Pathfinder, this technology was built by the scavengers.
So, Borda's still pissed off at the Nexus. You'll want to be careful around her, kid.
It's amazing they managed to set up any kind of working colony on this hellscape.
Amazing or crazy. And the Krogan seem to be a bit of both.
We got company. They left a data pad.
Environmental temperatures are within acceptable limits.
This sounds like trouble already.
Automated protocols activated. Deploying forward station. Mining zones have been added to your nav system, Pathfinder.
Looks like outlaws. Outlaw spotted. Headshot. Good work. New Tuchanka coming up.
Temperature levels are climbing, Pathfinder.
Yeah? You want to play the heavy for a criminal? Why come all this way? You could have been a pet back on Omega.
Shut up.
I'm reading a normal temperature range, Pathfinder.
Move along. No outsiders.
He's with me, human Pathfinder.
Drac. It's been a while.
Jorgel Strux sent me. I'm supposed to talk with Morta.
So now Strux is friends with the Nexus. Traitor.
Think I'm a traitor too?
Shut it, Breck.
I'm not here to step on any toes. I can help you guys out.
You assume we need help. Hey, you guys did your job. Now stand down and let them in.
But Drac,
Didn't I tell you to shut up? I'll spread the word so Morda knows you're here. Good.
Pathfinder must think he's pretty tough to just stroll in here.
Wonder how long he'd last in a real fight.
They're testing you, seeing if you'll take the bait.
Should have known Morta would take over.
She'll run this place into the ground.
Lost in all of the pit fights. Stupid Adi can't even dodge.
Just let me go out there with you.
You'd only get in my way. Ataraxia is no place for a rookie. Well, look at that. Not one of those damn scavengers, are you?
I'm with the Andromeda Initiative.
That's worse. Look, you want to buy? Talk to my seller. I hired him so I don't have to deal with the customers.
The Nexus is paradise compared to this. You don't want to go back? Even a little?
So we can be your attack dogs again? Get treated like dirt until we finally fight back? This is no different than the rebellion back home. Only time we get respect is when we take it by force. We were stupid to think it would be any different here.
You talk like you saw the rebellions. You can't be as old as Drac.
What's that supposed to mean? I was born during the final year, just before the Turians hit us with the genophage. My father died in the fight on Canrum. Took 24 Turian guns to drop him. I'm glad he didn't live to see us riding in cargo on the Nexus like pets.
Bet the scavengers are crawling all over the salvage you pick up.
Not too bad. I pick my scrap out in Ataraxia, where squishies like you can't handle the heat. I don't get too close to the flophouse. Scavengers gather there like insects. Can't defend my salvage against those numbers. Look at me. I was a warrior, and now I fight vermin over a junk heap.
I should get moving.
I'll be here, selling junk.
Pathfinder, welcome.
You don't welcome an alien into our colony, you ignorant child.
Shut up, old man. Sorry about that. Don't mind him. Credits are credits, I say.
About time someone around here is friendly.
Just give him time. Prove you're one of the good ones. Now buy something before he starts yelling again.
Look at this place. Look at what we built.
Pathfinder, when you travel, do you meet many Angara?
Sometimes.
Have you met one named Lieta?
I don't think so. Why?
She was a salvager, made runs to Eladon all the time. When she landed, she would always stop here first. We climbed the dunes together, took in the view, talked for hours. Lieta had a hard time in this heat, so I said I'd make her a cryo bracelet.
Were you two, you know?
We were friends. At least I thought so. One day she just stopped coming. I don't know where she is, if I'll ever see her again.
You think something happened to her?
She could have taken a new job. Maybe she was sick of Eladon. But if there's even a chance she ran into trouble, I can't stand not knowing.
Tell me more about Lieta.
She's adventurous, optimistic. Her jokes could make a Krogan blush. In a place like this, she stood out. I think she'd stand out anywhere.
I could track her down for you. Make sure she's okay.
Salvager at the Paradise might know something.
I would like that. If you find her, will you give her the cryo bracelet? Tell her she can use it to visit me again. Thank you, Pathfinder.
You seem different from the other Krogan.
My father called me a Solarian in a Krogan body. Supposed to be an insult. Joke's on him, though. I like Solarians.
What are you doing up here?
Looking. Back home, we didn't have time to just stop and look.
Is life that different here?
It was all about survival. Here, we don't have to fight so hard. Of course, the older ones still think they have to fight. Maybe it's just in their blood.
They'll come around.
Sounds like Helios was an easy choice for you.
New galaxy, new life. Not interested in being a merc like my father, or battling it out on Tuchanka. I almost didn't want to be packed into cryo for the journey. Wanted to see the whole thing.
Would have been pretty lonely.
Never been bothered by loneliness. The views would have been worth it.
I should get going.
Hear about the Nexus wanting us back? So the squishies finally realized they're screwed out here. Well, it's gonna take a lot more than oops, my bad to scratch out what they did.
Saw the worm bust straight through an old ship. Not a scratch on it.
Some think it's invincible. Doubt it. Not to a Krogan. Soft, squishy human like you should probably steer clear of the wildlife out there.
You said something about a worm?
Not a worm. The worm. Huge. Invincible. You can't miss it. It pops out of the dunes from time to time. Plows down everything in its path.
As if this planet wasn't deadly enough.
Good news is, it doesn't attack us. Doesn't seem to care about us at all. But stay out of its way. It'll barrel right through you, tear you to pieces.
Thanks for the heads up.
You taste something different about the Rincall. I think it's Aeneas water.
Better to live for myself than to see this place go the same way as Tuchanka.
Don't be stupid. Morta will find her way.
So you're the human Pathfinder. You look different from the pictures I saw.
You probably saw pictures of my dad.
Your dad? You replaced him as Pathfinder?
It's a long story.
Haven't really kept up with Nexus news. Enough trouble to occupy me here.
Scavengers?
Amongst other things. You seen the Flophouse yet? That's where they get together. 80% shacks, 100% trouble. I'll give you the nav point so you can avoid it. Or not, as you choose.
Have you had much trouble with scavengers at the colony?
Not yet. They're not that stupid. A bunch of squishies against 100-odd Krogan? Give it a little time. Resources run low, they'll get desperate, and who knows.
Tell me more about the Flophouse.
It's a loose collection of shelters where some scavenger gangs gather. They knock each other around, drink, and then when they're all riled up, run raids. And if you get close when they're hungry, well, that's how I lost a liver and gained a limp.
Thanks. This information will come in handy.
Just trying to help. Be careful out there, Pathfinder.
I'd love to take down the worm.
Don't be stupid. It's invincible.
Did that ever stop me before? Should have known Morta would take over.
She'll run this place into the ground.
Bad karma naming it New Tuchanka.
You Ravenor Brank? Struck sent me. He said that you...
Yes. Find me later near the fighting pit.
Hey, Nexus. I'm the one you talk to around here.
Are you Morta?
I'm Nakmor Morta, Overlord of the Krogan in Helios.
Overlord?
Drac, Kesh said you had a new job.
She didn't tell me you did.
And you're the celebrated Pathfinder from the Hyperion, found at last.
I'm Ryder.
This is thrilling. I've never stood so close to a Pathfinder before. Mostly because the Krogan never got one. Welcome to New Tuchanka.
You mean that? Because it doesn't sound like you mean that.
You're right. I don't. You weren't there when the Council species on the Nexus banded together to screw over the Krogan. Again. New galaxy, same crap.
I'd just like you to give me, personally, the benefit of the doubt.
Why are you here, Pathfinder? To see what a successful colony looks like.
I work for the Initiative, and we paid your way here. You left us, so leave us alone. Any Krogan action against the Nexus will be considered a war crime, or murder.
Murder? Human, have you ever seen a Krogan stillbirth? Get out of my face before I smash it.
I'm gonna journal about this later. See you soon.
Morta's a hard ass, but that surprised even me. Not good.
Yeah, maybe.
She didn't contradict your mention of action against the Nexus.
Let's talk to Brank before we freak out.
Saw the worm out there again. That thing is huge.
Bigger than a thresh maw, isn't it? Make a good rite of passage. If you head out worm hunting, let me know. I'll plan your funeral.
Been out of the Sea of Ataraxia? You want to play the heavy for a criminal? Why come all this way? You could have been a pet back on Omega.
Shut up.
Check it out, actually. See if we can get in on the action. I'd rather stay here. You call yourself Krogan?
Drac, you old wreck. Swing by when you ain't so busy playing hero. We'll catch up.
Sure thing, Krot. I have stories, let me tell you.
I don't sell Rincol to humans. Matter of principle.
What's it like living out here?
It's no paradise, but it's easier than Tuchanka. Back home, stepping outside during a nuclear wind could tear the plate from your skull.
What's Rincol?
Krogan alcohol, like drinking a live grenade. I distill it myself, strongest in the galaxy.
That's impressive.
Not really. I'm the only distiller in the galaxy.
Remind me to stock up.
What made you pick up and come to Helios?
I was sick of living on a dead planet, watching my people tear each other apart. Hitching a ride on the Nexus was a chance to start over.
But you left the Nexus.
And built this. Best decision the Krogan ever made. Just wish it was on better terms. Not wise to burn bridges out here.
What was it like traveling on the Nexus?
Don't know. I remember Solarians packing us into cryo. Some of us needed a double hit to fall asleep. Then, nothing. Suddenly we were here. You want to know more, ask Barrack. Says he woke up mid-journey and lived 50 years alone on the Nexus.
He has to be lying.
Probably. Good story, though.
What do you have against selling Rincol to humans?
Spent too much time babysitting humans who think they can stomach it. Fact is, you can't. Maybe it won't kill you, but it'll leave me a mess to clean up.
I bet I could handle it.
Typical.
That's all for now.
Back to it.